up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee, and welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all so much for tuning in once again. So I am back with another reaction video. This comes from the Empressive channel. Shout out to her. She did this video on Mowry, which I definitely want to react to this particular video, but I also want to give my 2 cents on what I think about Tia, her new show, and also her coming out and saying that her and her sister no longer have a close relationship. So I want to talk about that. I want to give my thoughts on it, and I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about it as well. So make sure you chime in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I also linked the full video to the Empressive channel, so you guys can go and check out the full video as well. I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get into the video. Y'all definitely chime in. I want to hear what you have to say. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go.
Actress Tia Mowry is doing her own reality show on WeTV called My Next Act. And in the teaser for her reality show, she revealed some interesting information. She opened up about her divorce from her ex-husband, Corey Hardrick, and talked about how lonely she is, which I found to be pretty interesting because Tia said that she divorced her husband because she wanted to find her happiness again, and all her life she was never really by herself. I mean, when she was younger, she was always by her sister Tamera's side, and when she got a bit older and started dating, she quickly settled down with Corey.
And that's pretty much what I've already said and what I noticed about Tia. So she broke up her family because she wanted to be selfish. She wanted to experience something she hadn't experienced. Being the fact that she was married young, in her mind, she feels like she's missing something. She want to go out and see what else is out there. She want to go experience new things to finally reach her happiness, or to feel happy, because somehow she's insinuating that in her marriage, she didn't have that anymore. She once did, but she didn't have it anymore. And now she wants to like reclaim her time and experience new things to get that happiness that she feels she's lacking. Now, operative word is feel. She feels like she's not happy and she wants more out of life, and life is too short. So the first thing she thought to do was to divorce her husband so that she can go and get that feeling. But honestly speaking, ever since she's been divorced, all I've seen her do is cry a lot. Like, she's been in her feelings for real. Like, she's been crying. I didn't notice her crying as much on social media before the divorce. When she was married, she seemed happier to me, unless it was a facade, unless it was something that she just was hiding. But now she's on social media crying more than ever. This is the most I've ever seen this woman cry since she got the divorce. And she's also complaining about being lonely and it's hard finding love, when it seems like you already established that. And this is what I think a lot of women don't realize. You don't get all these opportunities to find love. You know, if you find it, you better hold on to it until you can't hold on to it anymore, because it's going to be very difficult to find that again. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue.
They were together for over 20 years and they were married for 14 years. So never in her adult life did she really have time to be by herself and learn what she wanted and kind of find her happiness, because Tia was not in the happiest place in her marriage.
And I will say this again, just FYI for people who haven't been married or haven't been in a long-term relationship. If you have a good husband or a good wife and you guys are married, you don't have to leave your break up your home to find happiness. You don't. Your happiness is not contingent upon the other person. It's something you find within yourself. Please don't make that mistake, because the grass is not green on the other side. You got to understand that you create your happiness. It's not contingent upon somebody else. And if you're putting all of your stock into your husband or your wife, thinking that they're solely there to make you happy and to please you and do everything that you want them to do, that's a problem a lot of people make. And I think people got to understand that if you have a good person, you better stay with them, because leaving them thinking that you're going to find another person who's going to fulfill your every desire and make you happy 24/7, it's not going to happen, honey. Trust me, it's not going to happen. So you're better off staying in your marriage, working out your marriage, figuring out whatever it is you need to do to get yourself to a better state, because leaving your spouse is not the answer. And unfortunately, a lot of people realize that after they've made that decision. So please don't make that mistake. If you have a good person, you better communicate with that person. Y'all work through these things, figure it out together. I don't know why people always think that separating and leaving their person is gonna somehow yield them the results they think that they need or they feel they're looking for. And majority of times it does not. So please do not do that. Let's continue.
Left Corey to find her happiness and to find herself.
But you and your husband, like a lot of couples, decided that it was better to be lived, your lives better lived apart than together.
Yes.
How did you know that it was time?
That's a really good question.
To take that route?
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I had actually, lost my grandmother. We had lost Elena Housley, and both of them at the same time. There was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focusing on what really, really matters here, which is at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness.
Now, when I hear Tia explain her reason for leaving her marriage, I don't think she's wrong per se. Like, I understand that it's never a good idea to stay in a relationship or a situation where you're not happy, because that could definitely weigh on your mental health and your emotional health.
I think a lot of women attribute their happiness or lack thereof to their husbands. They put that on the men when it's not that person's fault if you are having a hard time with you, because your lack of happiness is all about you, how you feel about yourself. It is a selfish idea to think that walking away from your family, because that's your family, breaking up your family, possibly, causing issues with your children as a result of it, all in the name of happiness, is a major mistake, in my opinion. And you don't realize how detrimental that is to your family, to your well-being, and to your children when you do stuff like this. Especially if there's no real reasons for you to leave. There was no infidelity, I can understand that, or there was no abuse or anything going on like that, but you just solely looking to be happy and feel good about yourself 24/7, that's no reason to walk away from your family. 70 to 80% of women are the ones who initiate divorces and leave. It's because they're not happy. And they don't understand that your happiness is not contingent upon your spouse, it's contingent upon you. A lot of women make irrational decisions based off of their feelings. Once again, your feelings, you can have feelings, but your feelings shouldn't determine how you make sound decisions. Your feelings shouldn't be the determining factor of what choices you make or what you choose to do that could impact a lot of people around you. So I think this is where I think women are are reckless in a sense, and selfish up in a bit, because you're only thinking about you. You're not thinking about the overall picture. You're not thinking about who this is going to hurt, how others are going to be affected by this. All you care about is you being happy. And when you realize that it's not based on other people making you happy, and when you don't find it, you realize what a mistake you made when it's too late, and you realize you go through life looking and searching for this major thing to just, give you this aha moment to make you feel good and happy all the time. When you realize it doesn't exist, then you realize the mistake you made and it's too late. That means this is what it is. She's not the first to do it, and she won't be the last, and she won't be the first or the last to realize what she's done when she sit back and look at it when she's 50 years old, 60, still single, trying to find her happiness. It's going to kick in then. That's just my thoughts on it, but let's continue.
It could just weigh on you overall. So I understand why she left. However, I don't think she considered the gravity of the decision and the aftermath. I don't think she weighed out the consequences and how it would affect her children and how it would affect herself. It's been pretty hard. I mean, just by looking at her trailer, you could see that she's going through it. You could see that it's not easy for her to date again.
But the one thing that I don't have is love.
Well, I mean, girl, she had it. She had it, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't enough. And I think a lot of women are looking for love in the way that they think and feel it should be. You're looking for something, once again, that probably doesn't exist. You had the very thing that you're complaining about. Like I said before, I haven't seen her cry this much since after divorce. You know, see, she seemed happier when she was married. Now that she's divorced, she seems lost and confused and upset and always crying. And you want love, but you had it. And you created an entire family. But that wasn't good enough. You're still searching for something you feel like you missed or you lost. And now you're out here just aimlessly wandering about trying to find something you already had. Let's continue.
Not easy for her to see her children not live in a two-parent household anymore.
I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
Also, after Tia got a divorce, it hasn't been easy for her to be alone. She revealed that she's not even close to her sister, Tamera, anymore.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
This came as a shock to a lot of people all over social media. We're shocked that her and her sister aren't close anymore because they were so close at one point. I remember their reality show that they had a while back, the two of them, and I watched every bit of that show. And, they had some issues in that show where, Tamera literally called Tia selfish, and she said she's known her to be selfish. She literally called her out. There were some situations where they didn't really see eye to eye. And you could definitely tell that they're twins, but they have different personalities. They're not the same. They have different views. So being a twin myself, I get it. And I get that people were shocked that they're not as close. They're still two different individuals. And sometimes when you have a selfish mindset, as Tamera pointed out about Tia, that she could be selfish, it kind of draws a wedge because you get tired of people who are selfish. Selfish people only think about themselves. They don't really think about everybody else's feelings. They only think about theirs, and their feelings supersede anybody else's. And that's, from what we see and how Tia is moving in regards to her divorce, you can see that in that way because she does not care about her children, what they think about her talking about the divorce and how they feel about it. She's not thinking about her ex-husband's feelings or any of that. She's only thinking about herself, what she wants, her journey. It's all about her, and that's the only thing that matters when it comes to her. And that is a selfish mentality. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
I don't know. I just don't want to be alone.
We're very different.
Very different, huh?
Yeah.
How so?
My sister's very traditional. I consider myself almost like the black sheep of the family. Like I push the envelope. I feel like I'm very different, or we're very different in that way, even with our parenting styles. Like she's very traditional. I'm not saying she's narrow-minded at all. I'm just saying I have a very broad perspective on certain things, and she's very comfortable with familiarity. I'm the one that's taking the leap, should I say.
Okay.
So I feel like that's like the biggest difference that we have with us. I think religion. I am really into learning about other cultures and learning about different religions. I think she's very comfortable and content with where she is, where I'm like, I'm exploring, I'm like,
You know what? And that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. We could tell in her choices, in the choices that she's making. She's taking the lead to do what she wants, no matter who it affects. And that's just her thing. So I'm not surprised in that way. And I could definitely see that Tamera is more traditional, and she's honoring her vows, and she's staying with her husband, even though there was a lot of backlash when it came to Tamera and her husband. People, she had mentioned they got a lot of backlash with her marrying a white guy, And but she did not let that deter her from staying with her man, because she's created a family with him. And when you get married to someone and you say for better or worse, till death do you part, that's what those vows mean. It doesn't mean you stay until you're tired of the situation or you decide you want to do something differently. And you just up and leave because you got a feeling or an inkling that you could do something more, or you feel like you want to change things up. I think Tamera gets a lot of respect now because people realize that, hey, she's committed to her family and her husband, and that's worth more than you thinking that you can do it all by yourself and you don't need this anymore, and you want to go and venture out and try some new things and just up and break your family home up. I think that's how a lot of men look at it, and women as well. Once again, women were on social media telling Tia, child, ain't nothing out here, girl, go back to your husband. He even came out and said that, hey, he did not cheat. He didn't do anything. She decided she wanted to go on this journey. She wanted a graduation and a celebration, and she wanted to go explore, and that's what she's doing. It's all about Tia. Hopefully it works out for her, but from, past experiences of other people making these choices, it did not work out for them. So hopefully if something different happens with her. Let's continue.
This may work for the family, but this is not necessarily working for me. Yeah. I'm like hiding my crystals from my family.
Tia's returning to reality TV.
I know. I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me. She didn't. So I take that as no.
You're like, then now we're good.
No, she's like, this is my story,
right.
And I can only respect that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can I ask, are you and Adam trying to set her up on any dates or anything? Are you guys playing Cupid at all?
See, this is the thing. Tia is living her life right now, and Tia is doing Tia. I feel like she doesn't want any of our input right now. And I can only respect that. So I think she is doing her.
You know her better than anybody, so you're like, I'm not going.
So I'm respecting that.
Listen, you heard what Tamera said. She's respecting what Tia wants because Tia is doing Tia. And, and I guess only time will tell how that turns out. If she actually finds her happiness, if she actually finishes her journey and going on this celebration and this graduation of leaving her husband and breaking up her family. Hopefully she finds what she's looking for and she can finally be happy, y'all. So listen, y'all chime in the comments. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Hit that bell to be notified when I upload new videos, you guys. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.